Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to share with you the fourth installment of my diorama building series. I'll be taking you through the process of carving a rock face and adding some stunning texture to bring it to life. If you're new to this series, I've been documenting my journey to prepare and build a diorama for the 2023 Tabletop World competition. I'm thrilled to have you join me. In this video, I'll show you some useful technique and tips for adding depth and realism to your diorama. So let's get started. I'm starting off by marking the foam, getting ready to bring this diorama to life. With a clear plan of where each building will stand, be able to create a detailed and realistic scene. By being careful not to glue pebble or sand in these areas, I'll ensure that every building sits perfectly flat on the base. This attention to detail will make all the difference. As the next step, I gently carve the foam to create smooth, natural slope that blends seamlessly into the terrain, avoiding any unnatural stepped appearance. Here I'm working on carving the edge of the foam near where the inn will be, hoping to create a rock face at this spot. It's a bit of an experiment for me, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. To really make the foam look like stone, I'm going to grind the surface and add some rough texture. I hope this step will bring a new level of realism and detail to the entire diorama. Last but not least, I'm going to create a mine or a natural cavern at the back of the forge. This will add depth and intrigue to the scene, making it feel like a real place with a rich history. I'm excited to texture the surface of the foam in this area to add more depth and dimension to the scene. Before moving on, I'll take a moment to clean the base and really appreciate the progress I've made. To add some realism to the flat surface, I carefully use a rock with sharp edges to create textures. Using unconventional tools like a ball of aluminum foil can produce similar results, and it's always fun to experiment. Although it may take some time, I found the process of adding texture really satisfying, and the end result will be worth the effort. Here is the result so far. I'm pleased with how it's coming along and excited to continue adding more details. Now for the final touch, I'm gonna add a generous layer of no more nail to fill any cracks and level out the terrain. I'm using foam shavings to make some rocks at the entrance of the cave. It's time to protect the foam. I'm mixing Mod Podge and black paint to give the entire base a solid protective layer. Before the glue has time to dry, I'm placing some pebbles to add texture and character to the base. It's like adding cherries on a cake. And why stop here? I'm gonna sprinkle some fine sand to give it that natural, realistic look. It's all in the details. Time for some generosity. I'm applying a nice thick layer of glue to cover the entire surface, but not so much that it will hide the beautiful detail I worked so hard on. Let's keep the creativity flowing. I'm repeating the same process all over the diorama, adding glue, pebble and sand in strategic places to create a natural looking terrain. The pedestrian area will get some extra attention too. Once everything is dry, it's time to clean up. I use a vacuum cleaner and a brush to remove any excess sand and get ready for the next step. Let's add some color. Using my trusty airbrush, I'm applying AK's Tan Earth color as a primer for the entire base. It's important to have a good foundation. Check it out. That's what I call a solid base coat. Now for the finishing touch, I'm adding some black color without gloss from Vallejo to the edge of the base, giving it that perfect frame. But wait, I don't want any black paint on the surface of the base, so I'm using a cardboard as a shield to keep things clean and tidy. Voila, the painting is perfectly uniform and smooth. Let's take a step back and have a look. It's coming together beautifully, but honestly, I expected a better result. It might be good enough for a gaming table, but I'm going for the gold here. I want to create something that will be impressive. I need to level up my game, and I've got just the trick. Check out those pieces of bark I collected in the forest last summer. They're gonna take the diorama to the next level. With some creativity and careful planning, I'm arranging the bark to create a realistic rock face. It's like bringing a piece of nature right onto the diorama. Let's not forget to clean the bark to get it ready for the next step. And now it's time to arrange the bark pieces in the perfect order and orientation. It's like a puzzle. I'm keeping the pieces of bark organized and ready to be glued in place. Using no more nail, I'm carefully attaching the bark pieces to the base. I fill the gaps with even more adhesive. It's all about attention to detail. Now I'll fix pebbles and sand to the base with some good old white glue. I like to use a stick to spread it generously for a maximum hold. To really bring the rock face to life and make it blend seamlessly with the rest of the base, we need some sand. Trust me, this little step makes a huge difference. I'll add a small piece of bark across the road. This will complete the integration of the rock and add an extra layer of authenticity. Let's take a step back and look at the progress so far. Before I move on to the next step, a little vacuuming will help reveal the result. Now we can see the result better. I think it was worth the effort. There you go, painting now. I use some tan earth color for the base coat. Let's start layering some color. First up is dark sea gray. Next, I add some olive drab. And then dark green by Vallejo. Now let's add some depth by applying Agrax Earthshade in the crevices. To really make the texture pop, I'm gonna dry brush the edges with some pale gray blue from Vallejo. This little step adds a lot of dimension to the rock. And now we can't forget about the sand. I'll be dry brushing it to really bring out its natural beauty. Okay, here's where the real work begins. Dry brushing the entire base is a time-consuming process, but trust me, it's worth it. I spent over 2 hours on this step alone. To really make the rock and the base stand out, I add a touch of Citadel Seraphim Sepia to shade them. I hope this tutorial has given you some useful tips and inspiration for your own projects. Remember, the key to a great result is patience and the attention to details. Also, don't be afraid to experiment and try out new techniques. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow hobbyists. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more tutorial on painting and creating dioramas. In the next video, I'll show you how I paint trees and integrate them on the base. In the future, I'll also explain how I add synthetic grass, bushes and flower to bring the scene to life. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on painting and take care.